do.
Do you like that?
A lot.
A lot?
A lot.
It sets a good mood.
It does. It's really nice.
Wow. Dude.
It's a good touch.
It's a good touch. Dude, lots happened in the past year.
Yeah, a lot has happened.
We're here. We're back in the same room doing a podcast again. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's been almost a year, honestly. I think it's been about a year, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Kinda,
no.
it was snowy last time.
I think I had a memory on my Facebook that number 4 came out this past week. So the 4th podcast. And that was probably when you're on your trip out west.
Oh, yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, to see the Bonneville salt flats. So that's what's always stuck in my head.
You know, it was a great bunch of memories to like think about once in a while, but then when Facebook reminds you and you really see it, it's kind of brings you down a little bit, you know?
Like, wish you could be back out there.
Yeah, I'd give anything for that.
Every time I see a memory like pop up or I'm on stage or something playing, I'm like, oh, fuck, man, that was so fun.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, man, I love that video you made out there, Eric. And I was like, that's cool. I'm glad you like it, but I didn't make that.
What?
Kyle made it.
Oh, the wrap up? Oh, yeah.
The wrap up of like.
Well, you shot all the film. I just put it together for it.
But you know, you could shoot film all day, and it takes a good person to make it look good. So.
Right. I mean, they do. I mean, it's not true like where they say for photography, it's like the actual picture itself is like 30 to 40% of the work. It's the editing afterwards that really makes your picture like. You just got to get a good picture, you know.
That's definitely true, but there are a lot of photographers out there that shoot raw and leave photos raw. So they take the photo and then that's it right there. They don't do any post-processing or anything like that. And I think some of them people are some of the most talented ones because they really make the photos look great without having to put any extra work in.
Yeah, have to sit there and adjust your brightness,
for your typical photographer. You know, you compose the shot. And you try to make that look good alone, and then you go to edit it. But then, like I said, there are people out there that just take the shot, and you're like, wow, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and you do. That's obviously your main goal is to, like, get the shot and then be like, fuck, I don't know. I got to do much to this damn picture as it is.
I think one of the worst things, though, is, like, you get a good shot that you really, really like, and then you go to put it in Lightroom, Photoshop, whatever you use to edit it, and then...
Paint.net.
Paint.net, yeah, this man right here, the easy way. And you edit it one way and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Save it, export it. You look at the photo like a few days later and you're like, oh, it'd be cool if I edited it like this. Or you just kind of mess around with it and then you come up with like 10 different ways and you're like, I don't even know how I would want to present this photo now.
Right.
I've ruined the photo. It's like
you ruined it. You made too many versions.
Yeah, it's kind of like maybe how, you know, you were in a band and you would play a song and then you'd record it and then you'd listen to it multiple times. You'd be like, I really like this. And then you listen to it one too many times and you're like, all right, it could be better if I did this or I did that.
Or you start doing it like live. You start putting a different fill in it. You're like, oh, this would have been so much better on the record. But now I'm much better at this song than when we recorded it. So it's like...
It's kind of exciting, though. It's like if you're doing that live to put a new twist on it because it's kind of like something special to everybody who watches it. You know,
I feel like a band, like no matter who you are, what level you are, you have to be different live or do maybe a song differently live. Do something to make people want to come see you live. Not just like your album from front to back. That's it.
Right, because I mean, you're playing a lot of the times. You might be playing this. Like if you have a new album out, you're going to be playing that album. New songs off that album, and you might be playing the same set night after night, but that's pretty repetitive. But you want to do something that's a little exciting and different to other people that are coming to your show,
or like a cover, even
anything, like
a cover song. That's always cool, like when Metallica would do a cover song or cover Slayer or something like that, you know.
Yeah, I think it's really cool sometimes when they bring out like props or something like that. Like some of the bigger names, they'll do like the big bubble, and then the person will like be in the bubble above the crowd, like singing or something. I think Day to Remember did something like that.
Oh, really? Yeah, like that too. Yeah, or even like Rob Zombie, how he's just got all the props, or Alice Cooper.
Yeah,
got all the props. That's why you go see Alice Cooper. Yeah, I mean, I could just listen to Alice Cooper at my house and be fine with it, but the show is why you go.
Yeah, it's like you're musicians, but at the same time, you don't want to forget that you're also entertainers because while you're creating the music for people to listen to, you're also entertaining them. And then, you know, having that good presence on stage is just as important, I feel like.
The music isn't enough to just entertain a crowd. You can entertain them at home, yes, but at a show, like just playing your song isn't enough. It's
Yeah.
not enough nowadays, even for local bands.
Yeah, I mean, and especially with like the internet nowadays, like there are so many people out there making music. You got to do something to be different to bring,
Mhm.
excitement to people. They've seen pretty much everything, so to
Yeah.
stand out is a great thing.
Yeah, definitely. Bring your own fog machine or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people think any publicity is good publicity, but I don't believe that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want bad publicity, especially in today's culture and
Yeah,
mindset. You just be canceled right away, and you wouldn't even have a chance to.
you could be canceled for
Redact
anything nowadays.
Yeah. Literally. Canceled for the wrong word, anything. Your song could be referencing to something.
Misinterpret a message,
Yeah.
something like that. People look so deep into everything.
That's why I like talking like this, because there's like context to everything. It's not just a paragraph on Facebook and I can read it like you're pissed off, but you were actually being funny, and everybody misconstrues everything.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the times I'm not the biggest fan of messaging. Is like I prefer to just like maybe hang out or talk on the phone, because like you can't you can't give out that emotion in the way you're saying things, and people
Yeah,
will
certain
misinterpret
topics definitely
Yeah.
should be held conversational.
Yeah, communication is definitely key through anything in life.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. Communication's key whenever you're going on a hike or something too. You and another person, like, okay, like what's if we come across a bear or something? What's our protocol?
Yeah.
We come across a broken arm or something. What's our protocol? A storm. What's our protocol? Like,
and stick to it too, because if you run
Yeah.
into a bear and you had a plan, and the plan
Don't
wasn't to
abandon
run,
the plan.
don't run for the other person to be left behind. So
yeah, I've never encountered a bear though, and I don't hope I don't.
unfortunately, I haven't either.
Yeah.
I would like to see a bear, a moose. That'd be really cool.
A moose. I'd be down with a moose, not a bear, dude. Bears, that's too sketch, man.
From a safe distance. I don't want to
Yeah.
see them in the zoo. I want to see them in their natural
No,
habitat.
right.
Maybe like, catching fish down by the stream or just something,
Yeah, it's just if that bear's got cubs or anything with like you, and they know you're there, like you're fucked.
You wouldn't believe that I spent that month out west and I did not see any wildlife besides billy goats. That's it.
And the rams too that you had caught in your drone, right?
Yeah,
Or
at
were
the top
those
of that
billy
hill.
goats?
Yeah.
Those are rams, right? I thought they had horns,
Honestly, I'm not really sure.
but
They
that's
did have horns. It had like the curled horns on the
yeah,
top of their head.
that'd be a ram, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, along the goat line.
Yeah, probably around that
Um,
family.
That was the only wildlife you saw.
That was the only wildlife.
Really?
I did get to see a billy goat climb the side of a mountain though.
Really?
The cart when I drove by. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh, look at this! It's a billy goat. Like super excited just over something simple. Yeah, and I slowly drive by, and the next thing you know, he's taking off vertically like a jet or something. And
Yeah.
it's crazy to see them do that.
Yeah, just any goat.
Yeah,
Just seeing a goat out in the wild is crazy. Because most of the time you only see them at like a farm or something.
yeah, and they're super cool. When you
Yeah.
see them at the farm. But
Or a petting zoo or something
Yeah.
like that. You'll see goats. But I don't really even know a goat farmer. Who drinks goat milk anymore?
I don't know. What about goat cheese? I don't think I've ever had that. I love cheese, but I've never had goat cheese before.
Yeah, I don't know.
What does that taste like?
I have no idea. I don't really like cheese.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Oh,
had goat
that's
cheese,
right.
John? No.
I'll never forget that one time when we were exploring. I don't remember where we were exploring at, but I think we got McDonald's afterwards. It might have been the prison, and you got cheese on your burger or something.
Oh, yeah.
And you just were done.
Yeah.
At that point, you're like, I'll starve.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
I
touching
can't
it.
scrape the cheese off this thing.
Yeah, it's melted. Surprisingly, McDonald's melted their cheese on their burger for once.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Of course. That was just, a hit at you.
Even if I grab one out of the vending machine at work, a sandwich or something, I'll just peel the cheese off.
Yeah.
Because they all come with cheese.
You're missing out, though, right?
Probably.
Like, I know that you feel better not eating cheese, but you do realize that you are truly missing out to not experience, like, the world of cheese. It's great, man. Like,
Oh, cheese.
there's like a
curds.
cheese for everything, I feel like.
There's like a wine cheese.
Yeah.
Dinner cheese, snack cheese.
Snack cheese, yeah, like the shredded. Actually, growing up a lot, one of my favorite things to do was, like, I watched Family Guy, and I would just get a bowl of cheese and a glass of Mountain Dew, and that was like my favorite thing ever.
What kind of cheese?
Shredded like taco cheese most of the time.
Oh, you just get a bowl of shredded cheese.
Just in a bowl, yeah. I mean, I could go
and
through
you
a
just
bag
eat
in a
the
night.
cheese.
Yeah, more than chunk cheese though. Chunk cheese has like, it's like maybe too much flavor in one bite, and then I just like how I can control.
Yeah, that seems like, you know, like when I get like a chicken bacon ranch from Subway.
Yeah,
I'll have them put a little bit of the shredded on there.
really.
But that's the reasoning why is because that's the way I had the sandwich when I first tried it, and I
Okay.
liked it. So to this day, I just say, yeah, just sprinkle a little bit on there.
You think you can ever start another habit like that, where maybe you start to, eat more cheese, or
No,
no?
no,
Okay.
why? I'm 31. I've rocked it this long. I might as well just keep going. I
No
don't like.
cheese?
I just don't like you said, block cheese. Like if you got a sliced cheese and eat it, there's just too much intense cheese flavor, and I don't like it.
Look, you said it. You're 31. I just don't want you to be on your deathbed one day being like, and all the things I've done in life, I wish I had more cheese.
Wish I had more cheese. I need them. Curds.
So I'll be right there to feed it to you,
I
man.
need them curds in my life,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, goat cheese.
Goat cheese. Yeah, my aunt lives in Wisconsin too. She's like, "How do you not like cheese?" And they always want to go to the cheese factory and stuff. I'm like, dude, guys, no, I'm
cheese,
good on that.
Cheese factory in Wisconsin. So when you visit them,
Yeah, like
Okay, okay.
Wisconsin's famous for cheese.
yeah,
That's their thing.
never been over there, but I recently worked with somebody who was from Wisconsin. He said they have like really good cheese there.
It's the cheese capital of the world.
I
is
mean,
Green Bay or whatever.
Yeah, what
That's
better?
why the Packers, like in football, they're all called cheeseheads,
Okay, so that's where that
and they
comes
wear
from.
the cheese hats.
Okay.
And stuff. Yeah,
I never understood that. I just,
because Wisconsin's like
All right,
cheese,
yeah.
man.
what better thing to do than to go there to explore abandoned places and try some cheese.
Try some cheese,
Yeah.
dude.
The cheese more so, but
Yeah, yeah. That's so that's the thing. How do you like go about like you're planning your weekend? You're like, all right, like how are you like scoping out your spots now versus when like we first started? Like so when we first started, we were like, we had an open book. We're like, we just need to get out there, let's see some stuff. So now you're
Yeah.
seasoned. So now when you're going into your weekend of like exploring, what are you like more like? How are you planning that now?
it was nice in the beginning. I mean, when you think about it, just starting out, like everything, like any location you find, you're like, whoa, this is super cool. Let's go check this out. We didn't really know anything about those locations, but as time has gone on, like I've seen a lot of the same thing, a lot of the same blown out buildings, just
Right.
tagged, vandalized, nothing really in there. And as time has gone on, for me, it's more seeing things that nobody else has seen. So it's more like buildings that are on the side of the road, and people, would drive by that daily and be like, oh, that's cool, and not think anything of it, like not think it's abandoned, but, there are people going in there, and those are the type of spots I want. I don't want to go places that everyone else has been, I mean,
Yeah.
I go there, just be like, hey, I've been there, but I just really find enjoyment in being the places that no one else has been.
Yeah, that was always what we wanted there too. Before I started fizzling out, was like we just want to go just to the prime location where there's not a lot of tags. Where there's like at that prison there was like one tag.
Prison's still
There
one
was
of the best
tag.
places.
There was multiple, but it was like the same person.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, it's just the same dude.
Yeah, there's lots of places where like for some of them blown out spots, like when you think about it, it's like, yeah, they're blown out because they're super easily accessible, they're not watched, and the majority of people go there. And so you're going to have vandals, scrappers, photographers, urban explorers, kind of go hand in hand. And then you're going to have the graffiti artists, at them spots. So they're going to be, covered in that stuff. But when you go to places that not a lot of people are going, that's kind of the treat of it, is seeing things that a lot of people haven't seen.
Right.
Knowing that there's a history there, that it was once operational, and getting photos of that. And that's like one of my favorite things about exploring, is just going to places no one else has been, or haven't been in a long time, or only few people have been, because it's really not that easy to find spots that nobody's been to, because the exploring community, a lot of people might not realize, is actually enormous. I've learned that over the last year. It is enormous.
Well, it's gotten enormous too over the last year.
Yeah, with COVID and everything, a lot of people had a lot of time on their hands, a little extra money, and some people kind of pursued some things that they wanted to try before that they couldn't. And, that's just kind of where it's gotten it now.
And I still think it's going to fizzle out here, too, a little bit with the influx because we're only a month past September when they stopped giving the extra for unemployment. I mean, once everybody starts going back to work, you know what I mean? They're not going to have like enough time to do it. When you're not working, like it's just like, fuck it, yeah. Any day I can go. And then all of a sudden you're working every day again and all that. Half of those people that propped up during Corona are just gonna fizzle back out.
I feel like COVID, hurt a lot of people, obviously, but at the same time, it helped so many people like start businesses, start working more toward their goal, put a little extra money in their pocket, and they were able to pursue that and chase their dreams.
I mean, this right here is proof.
Yeah, and that
you doing that over how would you say earlier 150 places you've been now?
I've probably been over 150
places. Yeah.
I mean, they could just be like your average spot, like a wide open factory, to prisons, banks, churches, schools, all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really, really cool though. And if COVID didn't happen, I truly believe that I wouldn't be doing what I was doing today.
No.
Didn't give me that extra time, spent a little more time on YouTube watching videos, and I was like, kept seeing more videos of abandoned places, and I was like, that's so cool. I'd love to just go check it out.
Which was proper people.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really what got me into the whole abandoned building thing.
But with COVID and all that, and then getting that extra money, I was able to get a new camera, invest in some gear, try some new things out with photography and filming, seeing what I really enjoyed, and it kind of went from there, and I've kind of, followed that, and my passion's grown a lot.
Right.
I feel like in the last year, I've definitely become a much better photographer.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, I think you were good prior to this whole year, but yeah, I'd definitely say, your pictures are phenomenal.
Thank you.
The
drive has definitely picked up.
Yeah.
Having that extra time, reaching your potential or realizing your potential, and then I feel like that's a lot of times that's what hold people back is they don't realize their potential, and they don't have the opportunity to maybe find that extra push in themselves. And once you get it, for some people, they realize and then they stick to it, and that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of photography, but lately I've been trying to do more filming.
Yeah, that's why I was saying you get that fucking pocket thing, man. Because when you're doing like your your reels type things where you're doing like the 1-2 minute with music, having that thing that you can just right in your pocket, dude. Right in your pocket.
Super
simple. You don't even have to go out of anything with your pictures. You just fucking pull it out, boom, boom, done.
I feel like one of the biggest burdens being a photographer or filming or anything like that is just the accessibility of your gear when it's on you. Just having to take off your tripod, open up your backpack, get out your new, the lens you want to use for this shot or that shot. And it's just that repetition that just really sometimes it's just like, man, I'm just not going to get that shot.
Right. Yeah, it's
very tedious.
Because all the lenses that you got to change too. Like even like when me and Alyssa will be out, and she's still learning the game and stuff too. But it's like, man, that sucks having to go through all of let me try this lens and let me especially when you're learning, because you don't know like, oh, I'm gonna need this lens for this shot. So now you're experimenting. I'm like, meanwhile I'm over there. I got my camcorder like this. It's got everything. I got my other pocket thing. Like, I'm done.
You could just have like a holster or something. Yeah. You got a camera in here, a lens
like an artillery with bullets and stuff. You just got all your lenses.
Can you imagine like an ammo belt, but just like for your lenses? That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be dope, dude.
Yeah, that would be really nice actually. And then you could just have something to set it in while you change it out. But a friend of mine told me,
John, Google artillery belt for camera.
There is something kind of like that. There's like it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it like rotates and it goes on your hip, and you can put like 3 lenses in it at the ready at any time.
Oh.
Yeah. It's probably like expensive, and I just, I kind of enjoy having the backpack because, if
backpack's still nice. You still need the backpack.
With the exploring and stuff, definitely, because you got like your other things, you're going to bring like water, maybe a snack, and then
always
your tripod, and hopefully most people are using a respirator.
Right.
So, which I use everywhere I go now.
Yeah, I got mine. It's hanging up back there still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hated wearing them, but
Yeah.
But some places are so sketch. I don't want to leave the place And even as something as small as a cold, I don't want to leave every place that I go to and then have like a cold or allergies or something after, every place. Like I'm allergic to all kinds of mold and like basically everything under the sun.
You're allergic to mold?
Yeah.
How did you survive this long with exploring with me?
The masks.
Fair enough.
There
Well, I'm
was
glad you
there
wore
was
one.
only like one place that I didn't wear it and you did, which was I'm struggling to think of where it was. There's one place specific I remember I didn't wear it, but you were. But I don't know.
It wasn't the paper mill, and I don't believe it was the school in Parchment either.
No.
Well, that school
was
wasn't
it.
in
Was it
Parchment.
the tower?
The tower. What
Lee
was-
Lee Plaza. That might have been it.
That could have been
That
it.
might have been the place that you were wearing it and I wasn't.
Yeah.
But
I think
that
I
was a fucking climb though. That was a trek. 16 floors, right? And then we filmed every floor.
Yeah, that was a lot of nothing there, but it's still fun nonetheless because that's like the whole
Yeah.
experience though, is you don't know what you're going to see. So that's, you keep going through and then you go around the corner and then you see something really cool and that's what makes it worth it.
And with that one, we knew we were going to hit pay dirt with the end, getting to the top. That's why it was like floor 10. I'm like, we just got to get to the top, bro. Get to the top
Yeah.
and see that view and film it. And
My fear of heights were definitely at an all-time high at that point.
up on that rooftop there.
Not the rooftop, climbing that ladder. Remember, it was like kind of dark and it led toward like the middle tower, like the high tower off the street.
At Lee Plaza.
Yeah, I shot that. Oh, no, sorry, not Lee Plaza. I was thinking AMC headquarters.
Oh, AMC? Yeah, that's where, you did.
Yeah, I definitely struggled with that ladder there.
That wide open one that I climbed, I was like struggling with that too.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest burdens I feel like being an explorer, because I want to get like epic shots of like myself or just like being up high and doing like really fun stuff, and my fear of heights has definitely gotten in the way of that. But this year for me has been about conquering fears as much as possible, and I've been really working on it. So I've gotten a little bit better. One of my big things used to be like, when you be in an industrial building or something and they have those graded floorways where there's just like holes, like little slats, and you can just see straight down.
Right.
That used to be one of my biggest fears, is like walking over that, but I've gotten pretty good at that. So thankfully, I mean, I'm trying to weigh out the pros and the cons, and the pros is I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna just fall through the floor or anything like that, and I'll get to see the building. So
Yeah.
the con
And
is
always watch where you're walking.
yeah,
too.
always.
Because there's times where I'm like, whoop,
Yeah,
my whole foot's about to go in, but I have to take a big step.
like at where were we at?
That
We
was
were
that
at,
old hospital, Southwest Hospital.
Yeah, that was
such a
crazy.
disappointment.
You
but-
looked straight at me after that, mouth wide open, and I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And you almost died.
Oh shit!
It would have hit your jaw going down or
Yeah,
something.
that's what we were saying. I would have smacked my jaw right on it. And boom, boom.
Would
Oof.
have been terrible. Seen that the bike tire when we came back through there. Remember?
Oh
that?
yeah, the bike tire
And then
mark.
the police officer that was like just kind of sitting there. We don't know what he was doing, but he was there for like a half hour just chilling in his car.
And and a lot of times you're unfamiliar with like the terrain of the place. Like you're not you don't know, like we didn't know what that cop sitting over there, what he could actually see while we're in the building. Like, can he see that whole parking lot in front of him? Are those bushes high enough? So on our way out, it turned out that like once we got on the ground, like he wasn't gonna see us no matter what, on our way back to the car. But we didn't know.
No, and we didn't really know what to expect at that time for being in an abandoned place and getting caught. Like, are you going to go to jail? Like, what kind of charges can you get for that? But
Yeah.
now, you realize it's usually if you're going to get charged, it's just trespassing.
Yeah.
And that's a ticket. Or
Well, I think we kind of knew that in the beginning, but you still don't want to get caught.
I think the thing that aroused my suspicion the most, though, was the fact that I was parked right down there at the end of that little, like, dead end.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Off the highway.
What are these guys doing? They got a pretty nice car out here.
Off the highway.
Just
too.
sitting out there, yeah, and everybody could see what we were doing. But that was one of my favorite places that I shot on the drone, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, the drone shots from that
Yeah.
place, they just came out so crisp. Like
Yeah.
the lighting, we were there at the perfect time to get that sunrise and shit. See, that's what made exploring so much fun too, because it was like, all right, we're fighting, like we get here at this certain time, and you get to see the shit like in the prime daylight, I loved it. I know you weren't the biggest fan of getting up that early, but I loved getting up that early to fucking be there at those times.
I think there was one night I like slept in my car or something in your driveway.
Oh,
I was just like, man, I'm so tired. I didn't sleep the night before, and I was up super late, and I think I tried to sleep on your floor actually, and I think I migrated to my car.
Oh,
but I was only able to do that for so long because it was like colder when we started. Well, like toward the middle of when we were exploring. But yeah, I remember just like trying to sleep on your floor and just thinking about, how nervous I was and everything, because it was still kind of the beginning of us getting into it and not knowing what to expect, and it just kind of kept me up late that night.
Where were we going that morning?
I can't remember.
Was it? Well, it wasn't with Rich yet, right?
No.
Oh.
The only one we did with Rich was the prison, actually.
Yeah. No, he did osteopathic or whatever with us too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, he went there too.
Yeah, I remember.
But then we had baby coming on the way, and then all kinds of shit.
Funny little story about osteopathic. Let's just say somebody took a dump in a box and threw it out the window, and yeah. It splattered on the ground.
Ugh.
I don't know. I just remember some of the
It's a shit in the box.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just, it's those fun little memories sometimes that make the place worth it. The place wasn't that great, but it was cool once you got on the roof and everything.
The school next door was definitely better.
Yeah, but you got that shot, the shot of him with the city behind him. The skyscrapers and stuff out there.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to recreate that shot. I always thought that was so cool.
It was a very cool picture.
A good
the
shot.
Overcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's still today been like my favorite type of weather to explore in with abandoned buildings. It just kind of adds to that element of eerie, abandoned,
and then
decaying.
You're not fighting the sunlight for your pictures.
Right. No overexposure or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I did hate waking up early in the morning. I
know you hated
that
it.
with a passion. But
it was worth it.
It definitely kept us out of trouble if there was ever going to be any. And some of the sunrises, like catching that golden hour, is just beautiful. And I'm
so great.
I love golden hour. I love blue hour. I love sunset. But I'm never awake or out taking pictures to experience that. So it was really nice to be out during that time.
Yeah, it was. Did you find anything on that, John? No, nothing. Dude, we got a fucking invention here on our hands, guys.
Type in lens holster. See if that brings up anything. It might bring up something like
lens holster.
Yeah,
the one thing you were talking about, like a hip belt.
Yeah, you might be able to
just start wearing fanny packs. Bring them bitches back,
fashion
bro.
Statement. I mean,
dude, you could rock a fanny pack.
Right there. The Walmart Optica. That might be one of them.
Which one?
The Walmart Optica.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that could be one of them right there.
Huh. Walmart.
Oh wait, go down. I think it's that right there on that second photo, right below spider holster.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. You can attach 3 lenses to it, and it rotates, and you just take your lens off real quick. Attach and detach.
Shit.
Yeah.
Now that's nice.
But you think of something like that, if you're out, depends on where you're shooting. I mean, if you're out shooting in a crowded area or like city or something like that.
Yeah, that's really nice though.
It's easy for somebody to just kind of snatch that off you.
Right.
But
they would have to have like the camera and all that it fits, or are most of those universal?
Well, if they're trying to steal, they're probably not even kind of.
They're not even thinking about that. They're just going to try to pawn it at the next pawn
Actually,
shop.
It's so funny because growing up, I watched like Beavis and Butthead a lot, and there was one episode where there was this photographer guy, and he lost his gear in the woods, and they found it. Beavis and Butthead found it, and the guy was like losing his mind. And at that age, I was like, why? I was like, why is he so upset over that? And now I realize, if somebody took my photography gear from me,
hell yeah,
that would be basically like me losing my life.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, that's like, I feel like in photography, I found my purpose. And when you take all that from me, like some of them athletes that get in trouble and then they're not allowed to play sports anymore. Like that's basically like taking their life from them. That's a harsh loss.
Well, like when we were just both in Chicago at the same time and didn't realize it until the end.
Yeah,
Remember that?
I posted that video from a rooftop, and you're like, "Are you in Chicago?" And I was
Yeah,
like,
I knew you
"Yeah,
were.
are
I'm
you
just
too?"
like-
And you were like, "Yeah, I'm at the Congress Hotel." And I was like, "Bro, I'm literally on the rooftop, like cookie cutter from you. I'm on top of the Travel Lodge out there."
Yeah, right there.
I was
next
just
door.
chilling on the rooftop. I was like looking at the Congress Hotel, and I was telling my buddy, I was like, I think I heard that you can get on that rooftop as well. So that would have been cool if he would have just come out there and got on that rooftop with us. It was beautiful out there.
Yeah.
I have a picture from it on my Instagram actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
But while we were in Chicago, well, see, because I would have hit you up earlier, but I had no idea. We were just going to Chicago for the day, and we were walking around, and then they have that park that's over there. That's like kind of like their it's Millennium or
Millennium Park.
Millennium Park, I
Yeah.
think, right?
Yep.
And they have the big arch that goes over like the amphitheater, and then right next to that is like their little garden area. So we went down through the garden area, and we got to the end of it, and we were looking for a place to smoke a joint. Was really what we were doing. So, so we went over and we sat down on this little bench area, and we smoked like half a joint. And I'm like, okay, so we got up and we left, and I got all the way through to about the entrance of that park, and I was like, fuck, I left my pocket camera over there. The DJI.
The DJI, yeah.
Yeah. The DJI was over there, still sitting on the bench, and I had my fucking memory card and everything in there, and I'm like, but it leads along to what you were saying. It was like, if that fucking thing came up missing, like, fuck.
Did you go back and get it at least?
Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Oh,
That's
good,
why I
good,
still
yeah.
had it. Yeah, I ran back there. I was like, dude, I fucked my camera. I gotta go back. I ran. And it was still sitting there. Nobody was sitting around it or anything. So but yeah, it's something like it's your life. If
Yeah.
people try to take that from you, yeah, it can almost crumble you a bit.
I pulled up a photo, or I'm sorry, I sent you a photo on your
me?
messenger of the shot I got of the rooftop out there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you can pull that up.
Yeah, John, you can pull it up. Just go to my Facebook. He sent a message. Sent a message. You got mail.
Yeah. But yeah, that was one of the most exciting nights. I was actually out there for work, and I used the company car, and I was like, I told the guy I was with, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go get on some rooftops. He was like, okay, have fun, take some good pictures, and I was like, all right, hope I see you later.
Hope I see you later.
You never know what to expect.
Right.
A lot of work went into getting on that rooftop. That's all I can really elaborate on.
Which one is this?
That is the one on top of the travel lodge.
Oh yeah,
right
it's the
there.
travel lodge. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's the Congress right there.
Yep.
We were parked right down in that parking lot.
Mm-hmm. And I was parked right across the street from it, actually, in that little roadway there.
That's so funny. That's such a cool ass picture.
But yeah, I think you can see. I think that's the Willis Tower. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
Because that's
yeah.
the one we went to
Yeah.
the top of that.
Yeah, you were like, oh yeah, dude, we went to the top of the Willis Tower. You sent me a picture up there, and I was like, wow, everything looks really, really small from up there.
Oh yeah.
Super, super cool. I got one more I can
go
send
to
to you.
go to the obscured page real quick. Yeah. And then just down there on the left. Not that one. That one. Yeah. And just scroll down a bit. This one I posted earlier with me looking down. It gives me the wobbles. Just fucking that one right there.
Oh yeah, see that's kind of like a dream. My friend,
Fuck, dude.
my friend had talked me into getting shots like that a lot. She's like really been wanting to get on some rooftops and get some photos where you're kind of sitting on the ledge and you take that wide angle shot looking down to kind of gives people an idea of how high up you are. And I got onto that rooftop. That rooftop was 26 stories, the one I just showed you, and that was terrifying. I could not.
Oh yeah, dude.
I was able to get over to the ledge.
Oh, that's cool.
But I couldn't get down. Yeah, there's another one I sent too. Yeah, that one right there. That one was actually it was a really, really nice hotel. I won't say which one it is.
Right.
But I'll just say that some of the rooms there were up to $5,000 a month.
So how
in
did
an
you get
apartment.
in?
Really easily, actually. A buddy of mine, he's kind of a hookup that I have out there. He's kind of like my my plug, my
plug.
my abandoned
Yeah.
plug out there. But we were trying to get onto a building that was under construction out there, and they had some cameras. So we were like, we don't really know what to expect. We don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. I actually randomly met up with some guy in a parking garage out there, and some guy from Germany, and we had the same camera, and we just kind of started talking. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm from Chicago. And I was like, have you ever been on any rooftops out here? And he was like, no. And I was like, do you want to get on one? So he's like, okay, I'm down. So we made our way out and went to get on the one that was under construction. And I told my buddy, I was like, I don't think we could do this one right now. And he's like, all right, I got another one for you. So it was literally right next to it. And we ended up going through the main lobby, waiting for a few people to walk in. They carded the door, so the door opened. We took the elevator to the 57th floor. And then we went to the staircase. And the first staircase we went in, we tried after like we got to the 64th floor, we started trying all the doors to see, where we were. Are we on the rooftop yet? One of them we opened was like the pump room, like where they do all like the heating and stuff like that. And we looked in there, and we left, went to the very, very top of that staircase. That door was locked.
Of course.
And then we went back down. So we walked through that like control room and looking for like a roof latch or a ladder. Didn't find anything, but we did find another staircase. So we took that one. We went up, tried a few doors, and one of the doors actually led out onto a ledge.
Oh.
And we were about 850 feet up right there, and it was absolutely gorgeous, but terrifying at the same time.
So it's just a ledge. Like how much of you could fit on this ledge?
Oh, it was a big ledge.
Oh, okay.
I'd say maybe about 15 feet wide, and then the length of the building, which is
That's
about
cool as shit, though.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. That was where
So did this guy, like, as you're going up, did he not know if you're gonna be able to get on there either? Obviously,
I didn't. I met him like 25 minutes ago, and I was like, "Yo, you want to get on a rooftop with me?" And he's like, "Yeah." So that was basically my night hanging out with him, and it was really, really fun. It was really hard to get photos because it was really terrifying. And
well, yeah,
being someone that's afraid of heights like that, I just remember going to sleep that night, and I would close my eyes, and then I would just jolt up, half asleep, like I was falling, constantly, like throughout the entire night.
Right.
Yeah. Just thinking about it because, you look straight down.
How long of an exposure did you have on that to get the lighting of the clouds? Or is it just so bright there that you didn't even need it?
No, you definitely need to use a tripod for sure out there. But
how long of it was it?
I'd say probably about 8 to 10 seconds.
8, 10
a shot.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to
suck it in.
You don't want it to be like super dark. I mean, you can just take like kind of like a dark photo and then have like the city illuminate everything. But you just definitely want to like make everything look crisp and all that. So we used the tripod and a little longer exposure to like kind of like show the clouds and just kind of fill the entire photo out.
Right.
But yeah, I'd love to go back and get more shots of it. But
remember that fucking shot you did like that where it was like, I swear to God, it was like 30 seconds at the hospital and Three Rivers, and it looked like it was fucking daytime.
Oh, you're talking about on the outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the front of the building?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that guy came up to us and he was like, "What are you guys doing out here?"
Yeah.
And he was like talking to me, and he like brought something up. He was talking about how they had like this fallout shelter and all that stuff in the basement, and super cool with him. I was like recording the whole time because I was like, this is kind of cool. This guy's kind of giving me a little backstory on this. Yeah. Because I'm not from here. I don't know much about the place, honestly. Because usually it seemed like, we were doing our research after going to a place.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Right there in the beginning, for sure. We were just trying to get locations.
Yeah. And he was telling me something about like abandoned porn or something like that on Reddit, and I was like, dude, what are you talking about, man? You're crazy. Abandoned porn? What is this?
You guys make that abandoned porn?
Yeah, and actually it's funny because my friend would send me a lot of stuff from like the abandoned porn Reddit page, and there's lots of great stuff on there.
And then you told him, you're like, have a good day. He's like, that's all I get?
Yeah, I was like, have a good day and a great weekend then. Yeah.
And no, you said, no, I think you said, have a great life.
Oh yeah, have a great life. Yeah, it's like that's better.
I mean, obviously you're probably not gonna be happy with the week either. So, what the fuck?
Yeah,
but so back to earlier when we were saying about places you want more locations that you want to go now is like places where people haven't been, and the biggest thing, or the two biggest things that I was like, oh man, I wish I was there to like film and see it was the power plant, which we'll get into, but then like the houses.
Like the hoarder house.
Like there was a how haven't you been in a few, or just is the hoarder house just the one?
Oh, I've been in quite a few. I think. No,
But
not,
those ones are like some of the coolest, because you walk in and like everything's still there, like the chairs, the pictures, the books. That was like when we were going and exploring and stuff, and hot and heavy in it. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted to film that shit, just to see what's left, and it makes for good B-roll too. But like those are cool. Those are places where not a lot of people are going.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. Because you're not. It's not like you're going in the city and there's just like an abandoned house on the main road and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go check that out. It's kind of not the places you want to be going to. But
Right.
you wouldn't believe how many houses there are out there that are abandoned, haven't been torn down or anything like that. Whether people own them or the bank owns them or whatever the story is behind them, there's a lot out there, and a lot of the times everything's left behind. There's one I went to in Muskegon, actually, just off the highway, and that actually had power on in there.
Really?
Yeah, we turned on the TV and everything.
Did you?
Yep.
It's been abandoned for how long?
I have no idea. It looked like it used to be some sort of a home, but also an office that somebody worked from.
How abandoned did it look?
It smelled terrible, like it had been abandoned for a while.
Did you look in the refrigerators?
I always look in the refrigerator.
I know we always do,
Always,
dude.
always,
Always. Got to, man. You know it's going to be nasty. Or it could be nothing in there.
Or I mean, you never know what you'll see.
Yeah.
That's
so
one
did
of the
you check
reasons
the
why.
date in there? Do you
I didn't
remember?
check the date of anything.
That's
no.
what I always try to find stuff with a date.
A lot of stuff looks super, super old. You're like, oh, this looks like it's from the 70s, and you look at it and it's like 98 or like 2005.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people don't realize, like, what things really look like, 15, 20 years ago. It's not, as old as you think it is, really.
It's not. But think, 2005, wow, that's 16 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, if it's
Holy
been
shit.
abandoned for 16 years, think about that. Yeah. So it's really cool. And the house is definitely like, have a history that you can't really research, but you can just go through the house and a lot of times see how people lived, like whether they have their.
I mean, you could like, if you really wanted to, you could get in depth and you could find out the previous owners of that property and find out who owns it, if anybody owns it now, and
Yeah.
you could. Then if you wanted to, you could try to get the information that way. But
there's lots of like websites for stuff like that. Actually,
Yeah.
Detroit has this website with every single vacant property in the entire
we were checking
city
them out
there.
in Chicago that one morning.
Yeah, I was just kind of going through, picking one, and then seeing what it looked like, and then
Yeah.
we'd talk about it. But didn't hit very well. But
Yeah.
I mean, we were still new to it, so
That was still, that
yeah.
was like, but that was one of them where it was like, the first Explorer went way faster than we thought.
yeah.
We're like, holy shit, we're already done.
I've actually learned that exploring in Chicago is one of the worst places to be for exploring because most of the stuff has been sealed up pretty well or torn down or renovated at this point.
Yeah.
So if you're not from Chicago,
Is that kind of like Grand Rapids in a sense? Because I always think that Grand Rapids has to have a few that are pretty good to hit, but there's nothing really there, right?
I've never explored anything in Grand Rapids.
Because there's not really much there to explore, right?
There's like a nursing home out there, and I haven't really
Is
been
there?
able to find the location name of it, but I've seen pictures.
Huh.
You're part of like some of the groups on Facebook,
Yeah.
and you see people be like, "Oh, this is abandoned" or whatever.
I've
and,
never seen anybody
you
say
can't-
Grand Rapids.
Yeah, you can't put a name to it where it's at or anything like that. But I mean, sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. So that's
Right.
why it's always nice to have multiple locations. And
Or driving up to one and then it's actually a vacant plot.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of the worst. Is
every picture you seen was like, well, it's got to still be there, and then you roll up and it's been demolished.
that was another thing too. Is like in the beginning where we would pick out a location and be like, all right, this is what we're gonna hit this weekend. Excuse me, and then we would we kind of set up like an attack plan. I would kind of look at it on Google Earth to kind of see what it looks like, what maybe the foliage looks like this time of year, how many trees are there.
Right.
And you get there and it looked nothing like it.
Nothing.
Super
like
covered
it.
in trees, and you get there and it's just like everything's been mowed down. It's wide open, or it's like completely like covered and you can't see it. And So it's always like the element of surprise and exploring has always been one of the greatest things about it.
So what would have to be your most favorite exploration to date now?
Favorite like place I've been, or favorite like adventure into being into a place, like getting in
Let's
there.
go to like to an adventure first.
Okay, so that would be the bank.
Okay.
That'd be the bank in Chicago. And
Ooh, we were just saying Chicago's hard to get into.
yeah, and this and let me tell you, this was not easy to get into. This took a bit of an investment. I'm very grateful that my friend spent the money on these tools that we use, but there was this bank. We actually found it from exploring with Josh, and what you had to do, it was
so has he been in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it was this alleyway, and you had to take a garbage can and push it over to the side of this little awning, climb up on top of that through barbed wire, and then climb on top of this roof. Okay. So you get that right. And once you get to that,
what's going on?
Your camera died.
My camera died?
Yeah.
Oh, this one over here? Oh, I don't have it plugged
Yep.
in. All right. Yeah, mine just died because I didn't have it plugged in. Or I have a
Coors, 100%. The fuck is this? A medicine bottle from the 1800s?
I don't know. Scott Zank brought him over.
I mean, I'm good with it though. I love Coors. One of the smoothest beers, I feel like.
Smoothest?
Oh yeah.
I think Coors tastes like piss.
I think Bud Light and Budweiser taste like piss.
But you'll drink it though in a social setting.
No, not if I'm buying it.
You were just about to have a Bud Light.
I thought that's all you had.
Yeah.
If I'm buying it, I'm not drinking Bud Light or.
Oh yeah, buying. But yeah, if
Coors?
if offered though, you would drink it.
Oh,
Right.
of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we got the camera situation figured out, so the bank. This is a picture that we're looking at up here of the bank that you 007'd into.
Yeah.
Okay. So you climbed up the awning through the barbed wire and all that, and then
Yep. And then that was the after we get on that awning, we climb up over this ledge, and there was like a little hole, and we slid our gear through there, and that was the first part of the roof, or actually, I'm sorry, the first roof, and then we went further on because we knew exactly where we needed to go. We watched the video several times. There was actually a group of like 4 people who tried it all together, and they were filming, so they were being loud. And
while you guys were going there,
no, a video that we watched.
okay.
And actually, when we were climbing up on the off the awning, there was some people like out on their porch or their deck right there in the alleyway, just watching us.
Hold up.
This
Another
bank
weird
that I'm
issue
talking
now.
about, we actually attempted to go up there 3 times, and
3 times.
3 times, yeah. It was a big thing. We definitely wanted to do it. I was sketched out, and then my friend got sketched out, and then the next time I was like, all right, let's just do it. And she agreed. So we got there. We had to push this trash can over to a door and then climb on top of the trash can, use the door's leverage, put a foot up on the door, and then try to climb through this barbed wire onto this awning. And the awning had barbed wire on it, I'm pretty sure, because they were trying to keep people out.
Right.
But somebody had cut it, and we just kind of pushed ourselves through because we were pretty small, and it was a tight gap. But we got on top of there, and then we had to climb on top of the first roof. And I think it was like a roof to some restaurant or something like that.
Right.
And it was right in this alleyway where people lived in their back porch, like their little deck or whatever was right there. And when we were climbing up, people were watching us, and they
Really?
weren't saying nothing. They were minding their own business, thankfully. We were a little sketched out, but I was like, let's just keep going, whatever, so many people have done this. So
Right.
we keep going onto the first roof, and then we go over to toward the bank, and there's this pipe. And the pipe goes along the wall, and it's the only thing you can use to climb up onto the roof from there.
Mm.
So we climb up this pipe. You got to grab onto it, put your feet against the wall, and pull yourself up. And we got up there, and there was a rope I noticed as soon as I got to the top. And they set the rope there so you could drop it down to your friend and tie it onto your gear. So I dropped the rope down. She tied her gear up. I pulled all the gear up, and then she came up. So once we got up there, we were looking around for the roof latch. I couldn't find it. She ended up finding it, and we had a hard time getting it open at first, and then we opened it. But before we opened it, we were like really excited. And I was like, yo, we did it. We're about to get in and everything. This is awesome. And we open it, and it's like this 13-foot drop. And they're like, I was like, what do we do? You know, I was like, we can't do anything. Like, what? I mean, how are we supposed to get down there? And she had the idea, and she had to kind of talk me into it of going back to Home Depot, and she bought a fire escape ladder. And it was like one of those ladders you put around the window, the ledge of the window.
Oh, that drops like rope.
Yep. And it was the ladder was about 12, 13 feet long, actually, so it was perfect. So we went back there, and we got that, and we climbed back up there again. And people were watching us again, so we put that ladder down, and then we climbed down, and the whole time we were climbing down, the ladder's like swinging all around and stuff. It was super, super scary. And we dropped in off the ladder, and we had to like navigate through some hallways. Some people like broke holes in the walls so they could get, into the bank area. And then we walked out in there, and it was just like, as soon as we seen it.
And that's kind of what you seen, like.
Yep. The side, that window right there on the other side, that's where we came out on the right side right there.
Right there?
Yep. Right where the mouse is at right now.
Oh.
That's where we came in at. The other picture might show the perspective that we seen. There's another one too.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the
cool.
left there on the ground, that was where we came in at. You can see that there's not a lot of graffiti or anything.
No, not a lot.
That's one of those spots of, like I was saying.
It's hard
like,
to get. You got to work to get to that
yeah,
shit.
and only like the people who are like probably most proud of their graffiti or want to, hit all the spots, would go in there. And the thing I hate most about graffiti is not that it just kind of ruins the place. It's the people put their graffiti because they know where to put it. They put it exactly where, the photographers are going to get their shot. So their graffiti is, right there.
They're strategically placed.
Yeah, but, a lot of people just Photoshop that stuff out. But, the whole time we were in there, we just kept hearing voices and stuff. But there was, like, a homeless guy. He had a bed right in front of the doorway to the bank. And he was just out there, like, talking and stuff. And I was, like, really sketched out, like somebody was maybe in there. But there was no way, because the only way you could get in there is if you dropped into that ladder.
Right.
So we were safe the entire time. So we took our time in there.
So where was the homeless guy?
He was right out front on the street there.
On the street?
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe it. He had like a king size like Serta mattress out there. I was like,
what?
I was like, man, this guy has and I kid you not, this guy has a nicer bed than I do.
Damn.
Yeah. I was pretty jealous.
Fucking, somebody probably threw it out
bed.
because it had like some sort of smell or some shit, dude.
Stain on it or something.
Stain.
I mean, you're talking about Chicago, and there's a lot of, higher up people out there.
Yeah, you got from the high to the lows.
Mm-hmm. And he was definitely on the high end, of his living situation there. So.
Of his living situation, yeah. Being homeless, given a Serta mattress.
But yeah, that was definitely one of the most exciting
how'd you get the ladder down? Did you guys bring a drill and shit with you to drill it in place or what?
No, it's actually got hooks.
Oh, hooks.
Yeah, and then the ledge was like thin and it was deep, so we just put it around. Yep, just dropped it right there and it held in place. I mean, she's like 110 pounds. I'm
we're not talking 200 plus pound people here.
And it had a limit, I think, up to like 300.
Right.
So climbing back up the ladder was a little scary, but I knew that was my only way out, so I had to do it, and I did it. And after, I was very, very happy that I did. So it was one of the most exciting. It was actually the most exciting adventure I've had exploring.
That's like, so that bank was located all the way up. Like, how many floors up in this place?
The bank is the entire building.
Oh, the entire building.
Yeah.
So when you were on the roof of a restaurant, how were you getting? Like, I guess I'm confused. Because you said the first roof.
So it was like multiple buildings connected to one another.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we had to ascend the pipe. So we had to like climb along the wall, grabbing onto the pipe to get up onto the secondary roof of the of the bank, which was just like other like little buildings.
So that's ground floor. That's
bank, ground floor and ceiling of the bank. Yeah.
So. Oh, there's a church right there. There's another church.
Which one?
Right there.
The one in the middle.
Yeah.
That one was pretty easy to get into. They had the door chained and locked, but the door was like open, so you could kind of like squeeze in. Yeah.
Like when we were at the mall and it was just too tight to get in. Oh, that sucked. That was demoralizing at the moment.
Yeah, it always is. You think you're so close, and you're like, oh, I can definitely get in right here, and then you get over there.
Especially
and
when you've been there for a while, you've checked out a lot of areas, and you're like, there's only a few left we could hit. And when you have something like that teases you, you're like, oh, fuck you.
I think one of the biggest things I've learned about getting into abandoned places is that you don't give up. You're always gonna look for like a hole in the wall or a broken window or something like that.
Well, like
But,
Northern,
yeah,
when we were
but
going around and all of a sudden we just, oh, what the
that's
it's fucking open.
that the majority of the time, yeah, it's just the doors unlocked, but people don't realize that because a lot of people are, they specialize in lock picking, so they can get into
Right. Well,
any building.
so that's where I would come across, and I'd be like, I my whole logic the whole time was, if there's a way for me to get in here without breaking and entering, like, I'm good. Like, I'm not going to jail. I'm gonna get a fine for trespassing, and be on my fucking way. As long as I
Yeah,
don't do anything else wrong. But if they know without beyond a shadow of a doubt that I had to lockpick, break something, do something to get in there, that's where I would start to get a little sketch.
Yeah, that's something I've never done. I've never broken a window or anything like that, caused damage. I've pried a board off of a window before.
Yeah.
I mean, I've crowbarred a door open that wasn't locked. It was just kind of like, it was like latched a little bit. It was like one of those push doors where you like push it in and then it opens.
Yeah.
That's probably the extent of anything I did. And
Yeah.
at that point, I wanted to get out of there because I was like, if I do get caught, I might get in trouble for this, and more trouble than just trespassing or just scaring you into not wanting to come around for a while.
And
which
I'm
they
sure
did that
there's,
to us.
and I'm sure there's probably places though where you get there and like I'd probably be pushed to maybe like that far. But yeah, if you gotta like literally break a window or break something to get in, and that's when you're fucked. Because that's when
Right.
they could be like, no, you broke something to enter this building. Like, the door wasn't just open.
I can say that I can honestly say I've never like caused damage to a building to get in. No irreparable damage or anything like that. And
And never while on the inside too. These people,
No.
like, I understand teens and shit and wanting to go out and
be
there's-
rebellious.
And there's times too where it's like, yeah, like I just want to break shit. I just it's one of those things that you can't ever do. So you go into this abandoned building and you see the shit there and you're like, nobody cares about it.
Right.
I want to just fucking break it. I can understand that feeling, but it's like,
But when you think about it, though, you come to that idea that this place is abandoned. Nobody cares if I break something. You got to think, though, at one point when that place was abandoned, there's more than likely a chance that there was a person who owned it that had hopes for it, and it just kind of got out of control and, got to a point where they couldn't do anything anymore.
right.
You get a few people in there that are causing a lot of damage before you go check the building out, just see the state it's in and everything like that. Maybe do a reassessment of like the value of it or whatever, and then they go there and they realize all these windows are blown out, and they go and these walls are torn down, glass is shattered, doors are broken, all sorts of things in there, and it just kind of gets to the point where they're like, I don't care no more. Like there's
Oh, right.
causing me more
Right.
more
It's
money
like-
to do
it's
anything
like-
about it.
It's like what, like the first person to do it, Like you're the first person in a building and nothing is broken. Everything is kind of how it was or deteriorating a bit. Like, and then you're the first person that does it. Like, you just open up the door for everybody to do it. You know what I mean?
I can say not 100%, but a high percent that the first person to get into most buildings probably vandalized it to get in, because more than likely that everything was
Right.
locked up
That's true.
in the very, very beginning. So
they were willing to vandalize to get in, so that means they're going to vandalize once they're inside.
no,
too?
that's not to say that like I go back to the lock picking. That somebody maybe didn't just lock pick that door and then
Right.
left it open, because a lot of times you lock pick a door and you're in there and then you go to leave, you can't lock the door from the inside.
Yeah, right.
You can't. Can you lock pick a lock to be locked again? Like, I'm not even sure if you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
But you can't. Well, some doors you can lock. Like my door, I can lock it from the inside and then.
okay, with
shut
a set of picks though.
No, but you're
Right.
inside, so can't you just relock it from the inside and then shut
But
the
then how
door?
would you get out? Oh well, yeah. No, I guess I understand what you're saying. But like a lot of like main entrance doors are going to be a little bit heavier.
That's
so
true.
They're going to be
and they're
more
gonna have
like
a latch or
deadbolts or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's true.
and,
I'm thinking more house.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of, and it's kind of to a point you kind of almost appreciate it. Sure. And to a point you almost appreciate that vandalism. Somebody actually said to me, You know, if somebody didn't break in there, you would have never gotten in there in the first place.
Do you want anything, John?
And you know, as much as I hated to hear that, and as much as it upset me, I was like, you know, to an extent, you're right. If somebody didn't break in there, I probably would have never been able to explore it.
Right. That's true.
You never know.
Yeah, like as much as we want to criticize and critique, they're the ones that actually may allow the ones like us to go in there to see it.
And there's a difference. There's a difference between, you know, breaking your way in and then breaking shit when you're in there. Like, you don't have to break stuff. I will never. I personally don't understand it. I never will. I mean, I guess, yeah, if you're like a teenager, you think it's super
I understand.
cool.
Yeah, I understand that part of it. I kind of do because, you know, it's you're in a place where when you're young too, you're thinking nobody cares about this place. Why, you know, nobody gives a shit. It's just been sitting here for as long as I remember, and you just get this urge to break shit because nobody's gonna know and nobody's gonna catch you.
I mean, all sorts of people go in these places too. I mean, just being in the community for a year, like I know people who are, you know, under 20 that do this and they're super, super good at it. I know people that are over 30. I know people who are 40, almost 50 that explore and are really good at it. So, I mean, there's just it's a wide audience, you know.
For sure.
You just never really know. And
then you got the people that just like to see the pictures, and
yeah,
you got people that just like, you know, just to see the outsides of the buildings. Or like, do you see like the in the big group, Abandoned, Old and Interesting, the stuff about like payphones recently?
Yeah, I seen that post. That was really, really cool. I've
and
seen a lot of
people are
payphones.
getting so annoyed and pissed off by it.
Were they?
Well, there still is.
For what reason?
Just because like a phone booth isn't an abandoned or old or interesting like building or something like that.
Phone booths are extremely old,
and they're interesting.
Yeah. That used to be one of the most
and
like
technically a lot of them are abandoned because they're still there. They don't work.
Right, and interesting because before, you know, the age of cell phones and technology now, if you were, you know, you were drinking or something like that and you needed a ride home, you go use the payphone. Call your friend or something.
A fucking phone booth won art prize in Grand Rapids.
Like somebody made one, or
you know what art prize is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never been
somebody
there, though.
made like a phone booth or something. I don't know what else was going on with it. I'm sure there was some sort of message or something with it, but yeah, they made a phone booth and it won.
I'd like to see that, actually.
There was like a fire-breathing robot and all that shit there, and a fucking phone booth won.
Did you go to it this year?
No,
then,
I didn't go to it.
I've actually never been to it before.
No, I went to it one year, like years prior, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's just art everywhere. All kinds of shit.
I get a lot of people all the time telling me to, like, you know, oh, you should, like, sell your photos or, like, try to enter art prize and stuff like that. But I just feel like that's never really been my thing, honestly.
Art prize feels like more to me like more like big, huge art.
Yeah.
There is galleries, though, where they got the smaller stuff, where I
Right.
guess is where you'd probably set up shop.
I mean, it's art
and a lot
in
of
general.
people go in to see that. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's just, it's never really been my my thing to do something like that. Like, I've been told by a lot of people, like, you should sell prints and stuff like that, and it's always been in the back of my mind, but I don't know, I guess I've been kind of waiting for the right moment for that. And, you know, my way to justify me not getting into it at the moment is the more photos I have built up, the more content I have if I eventually do it.
Right, yeah,
So
you
it's
build
not
your
like-
portfolio.
Yeah, so it's not like, you know, I decided, oh, I love photography, I got a few cool photos, I'm going to open up a print shop, and then there's going to be like 5 photos in there. No, when I open up my print shop, there would be, you know, a couple hundred photos in there. So it'll be
Yeah.
something to browse through. It'll be something for everybody, you know. And
I think, like, so what do you mean by, like, print shop?
just like an online where you can
So you
buy
just,
prints and stuff like that.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I think you should just, even just to make some money, just start taking, like, band fucking photos and shit like that, dude. Just
I've been trying to get more into it. I
you're
know
good at it. You're good at taking pictures of people, too, not just places and things.
I mean, I love to take photos of anything, honestly. Like, I
Yeah.
always have my camera
Well,
on.
some people are like, I'm more of like a portrait photographer. You have like a landscape nature photographer. You know, like that's their specialty.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you ask somebody, they're like, "Oh, what do you like about photography? Like, what do you like to take pictures of?" And they're like, "Oh, I love like weddings or portraits or concerts or wildlife or nature." And
Concert photographer. Yeah.
yeah, if somebody
concert
asks me,
photographer.
I'm like, I love the art. I love creating a photo. Like, you know, you see things every day, but then, you know, you can capture it in a perspective that maybe no one else has seen it in. And that's what I like about
Right.
it is, you know, everybody's unique. Everybody has a different eye. And You know, I
That's
always said
true.
you could take 5 people to the same exact place and they will all get different photos.
Yep.
I mean, you'll all get photos of the same, you know, like if you're at like a
General thing,
church.
but-
yeah, if you're at like a church, you know, everyone wants a photo of the sanctuary and the altar and all that, but people will see different things from different angles, and that's what I've always loved about it is that you can connect with so many people and see art expressed in their way, and it's like unlimited. It's infinite.
Yeah.
Just like music, you know.
Yeah.
There's so many people making music nowadays, but music comes out all the time that's so completely different from the next person.
I had to like back myself off too, you know, like with some like Alyssa would be taking pictures and she'd be like, you know, well, look at this one. And I'd have to like just be like, well, she don't need my input. This is this is the picture she wanted. This is what she's seen. You know, she doesn't need my input every time.
Like asking you if she should take a photo of it.
No, like after the fact.
Okay.
Or like we'd be going through photos and I'd be like she would take one and I'd be like, oh well, if you would have had the line here, I think yeah, that's a great photo. So but I just like that's what she wanted. She wanted it centered. I would have had it a third down.
Yeah.
But that's my eye versus her eye, and people are gonna find her picture appealing just as much as they might find mine appealing. It's just your eye.
Yeah. That's kind of, I guess not maybe really similar to it at all, but my name like on
But it reminds me.
my name on Instagram actually does kind of mean something. The Unknown Abstract. It's I like to get just shots of stuff where you don't really necessarily know where you're at, or maybe you don't know what a photo's being taken of. I like to just try to be as unique as possible and
Right.
just capture something that nobody else has seen. And that's where like the unknown is, like sometimes you don't know what the photo is of, and then the abstract is, it could be interpreted in many ways.
Yeah, it's gonna be like an abstract type photo.
Yeah.
Like that one that you got recently with on the road when you had the line centered right in the middle.
Yeah.
Looking out, that was cool.
Yeah, if you want to I don't know if you want to pull it up again, the Instagram.
Oh yeah, is it? I'm sure it's on there.
If you want to go up to the top.
Where the hell am I?
There you are.
Actually, no, I want to go down a little bit. I forgot where
dang.
we were at. Yeah.
Has it been that long ago? You posted
Yeah,
that?
you can keep going down. Yeah, so go up a little bit, right above the church there. If you click on that photo right there in the center.
Oh, that?
Yeah. What do you think that is?
Oh, that looks like an old pillar,
Pretty close. Actually, it was
like a
just
wooden pillar for a dock. Is that what it is?
It's pretty close. Yeah, it was I found that on the lake. There was just ice frozen over it, and I took it from that perspective, and yeah, I just thought it was a
It
really,
looks
really
like a
great
picture
shot.
you'd see in like National Geographic.
But it
magazine.
looks like more so like something someone would paint, not take a photo of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hit the next button on there. Hit the next again.
Is this Tunnel Park?
And that right there is it's the same post from a different angle, but it almost looks like a mountain. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's what I like about it is the abstract is like it's one thing, but it looks like another. You don't really
Yeah.
know. It's kind of unknown as well, is because you don't really know what I'm taking the photo of. But
Is that Tunnel Park?
that is a cruise park.
Oh.
I believe. I think so.
Just the fucking tunnel thing made me think Tunnel
Yeah.
Park.
When I first started getting into photography, I had this thing. I had just got my
Where you'd
camera.
Take pictures of what was it? Is it Duck something or?
Duck Lake
Yeah.
or Duck Creek or no, Duck Creek was the school. No, Duck
you-
Lake. No, that's not.
You're
No,
like, I'm getting. I remember you with the drone. You're like, I'm sick of fucking taking pictures of
Duck Creek
Duck
or
Creek,
Duck Lake.
Duck
Sorry,
Lake all
I
the
can't.
time.
Yeah, but that was one of my favorite places. But
It was, but it was funny.
when I first started taking photos, though, I had this thing for a while. Every single weekend, I would go out and I would drive the lakeshore of Michigan, along Lake Michigan, and I would go to a different park that I hadn't been to and take photos of it. So I always
Right.
had something to post. And some of the adventures I just had, just hanging out with myself, like enjoying my hobby and learning, the
Yeah.
passion and everything behind it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I
dude.
think I think one of my favorite things about a hobby is, when you found out that you're passionate about it, is like teaching yourself and learning about it. It's not necessarily like the work that you create in the long run. It's more so like the passion and the drive you have in the beginning.
Right.
that just
And to
propels
keep
you to go
that.
further. Yeah, and then
And
when
to
you
keep
keep it, yeah, it makes it nice.
See, my problem is I like harbor them all, and I'm like, I still really like this stuff because I still like, I still get urges and stuff. I'm just like, I want to go out and I want to go explore. Like, I want to just call Eric and go explore.
And you should.
I know, and I will. That's why, I had to get this down to where it's a smooth running machine.
Yeah.
Now with John on board over there, I know he's suffering right along over there with his allergies, but with him only being 3 blocks away now too, that's easier. Get that easy, and then I can start sprinkling in more of those things again,
Yeah.
which I want to do. But yeah, my problem, I like harbor them all, and I can't just like Survivor when they'd put your little your torch out. I can't do that to anything. I never put even music. Like I know I'm like pretty much done. Like I'm not gonna probably play music again unless there's like some opportunity that comes along that I just absolutely cannot pass up because I know it's gonna make me money, which ain't gonna happen. So like, but I still like the torch is still over there. It's still lit. It's not put out yet.
A lot of people just think, you live a long life. You're going to live until you're 70 or whatever. And, you got a lot of life to live. But I don't really look at it that way. I look at it as I only have so many hours in the day. And if I have passions and hobbies, I only have so many hours to do those things each day that I can allot to that. And,
So would you say time kind of rules a lot of your life?
I'd definitely say so because time
mine
will never
too.
stop for nobody, and
Well, in a sense, yeah, but sometimes I feel like I let time almost, like when you're referencing to hours and we only have so many hours a day and this and that, like I find myself doing that a lot, and it's like time is like ruling my life. You know what I mean?
that's why you need to set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah, right.
You need to set like
Get the sleep if you need it instead of pushing yourself, and I only get like 5 hours of sleep.
even if you're having a rough night and you can't go to sleep because you're thinking about it, just stay in bed and just create that habit of doing exactly what you want to do.
Right. But yeah, it's tough though when you think about like when you time increment everything. Like I'll time increment days and stuff. Like this and this from this and this time to this and this time. It's like you're creating schedules you don't even need. In a way.
And another problem you have with that is that you just think about how much time you have in every day, that you spend too much time thinking about that and worrying,
right.
that you try to spend too much time relaxing and you're not actually doing anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a problem I have a lot, is like I'm like, all right, when I get home from work today, I should edit these photos.
And then you don't.
Put some of these clips together, and I tell myself all day, like when I get home I'm going to do this, and as soon as I hit my seat in my car, I'm like, I'm relaxed. Like this feels great. This is what I want to do when I get home. And then I just lay around and I watch like YouTube all day. And not even like YouTube that has anything to do with like taking pictures or anything like that. Just random like clips or something.
Yeah.
And then that's you're never making progress if you're not working on it. It's just not how it works.
It's easy to get distracted though
Yeah.
too, because like I'll do the same thing. You'll be at work and you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna come up with this plan, and you got this great plan of what you're gonna do when you get home, and then you're like, okay, well I'm gonna hit up, like I'll say, okay, I'm gonna edit some podcast stuff real quick with some clips. And you start doing that, and you pull out your phone real quick, and all of a sudden you're like
on it.
15 minutes, and you've been scrolling. You're like, fuck. Again, then you got the time thing. You're like, fuck, that was a waste of time. So now you go back, and then all of a sudden you're scrolling again, or you're on your website on something else. Like,
I think another
focus.
problem a lot of people have, and I just kind of like came to this realization lately, is that they focus on the past a lot, and a lot of people want progress in life, but progress is always ahead. You can't focus on the past and what happened then. You need to work toward the goal now.
Yeah.
You need to live now, so that way you have that progress in the future.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to obtain it. You can't sit there and worry about, oh, I messed up doing this yesterday, or maybe, oh, I went out and like I shot a wedding, or I did this concert, or I did this like show and I played my music and I didn't do very good. You need to like think about what you could do better, the next time. You always need to be looking ahead.
Yeah.
Not too far ahead.
Well, you can think about it too, like like a horse, or even just yourself carrying a bunch of weight. All that weight is weighing down your progress forward. Maybe you're making incremental progress, but if you just let go of that shit and that baggage, like you'd be surprised how much farther you can move forward.
Yeah, I think most people's number one enemy is themselves. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's your own mind.
I get in my own head a lot.
I've been working on that a lot lately. I think I've been doing a pretty good job. I've been, as you've seen, I've gone out and I've been taking pictures way more often.
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
filming more.
I'm like, shit, man. I'll go, he's out every fucking week.
Yeah, and you know,
And I'd
there-
look at Alyssa and I'd be like, this is why I told him, like, you got to go do it. You just got to go do it because I wouldn't be able to keep up with it.
easiest thing to say, hardest thing to understand, simplest thing to do. Like, you know, you can tell someone to do it all day, and you know they might listen to you, they might not, and then sometimes it's like the hardest thing to push yourself to do it. But when you're out there, it's super easy. You're
Yeah.
doing what you love to do.
Right.
It doesn't matter, you know, as long as you're doing something you love to do, you shouldn't be worrying about anything else.
Right. And that's why, like, you know, fucking, that's why I always say, too, I'm so thankful that we got together
Yeah.
when we did, because it really pushed both of us into where, who the fuck is messaging? Just exile my Facebook. Fucking Sean. Just, yeah, us linking up at that time, you know, really set us off into, you know, I had this camera. I didn't know what I was going to use it for, but I knew I wanted this camera to start filming some shit, so I got a nice one. And, you know, we just linked up. You hit me. I think you hit me up or something. We were kind of talking before
you
that a little bit.
you took the video of Cooley, and I was
Oh,
like, that's
yeah,
super cool.
yeah.
I was like, I always wanted to like explore an abandoned building and film it, and then I was like, hey,
and
dude,
you were helping me get in there.
yeah, and
You're like,
If-
yeah, you got to go to this spot, this spot. I'm like, okay, cool.
if
Via text message.
yeah, you know, I could have explored Cooley, and you never went, and then we never linked up, and I never pursued this like passion like I have, and I
Right.
don't know where I'd be today. And I hate it so much. It's like so cliche to say it, but everything kind of happens for maybe not a reason, but you know, to set, you know, the path going forward.
Yeah.
And without me hitting you up because you went there and then helping you get in there and then you saying yes to like exploring with me and filming, like I might have never seen some of the places I've seen.
No, I
At
don't
all.
think, you know, I mean, you could probably say that, yeah, you probably wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have met like,
I
the
wouldn't have
people I've
started a
met.
podcast.
Right. And I wouldn't have met the people I've met. I've met so many like super cool people I've explored with.
Yeah.
One friend
Same.
that I have one friend that I explored with all year, and we've been to so many places in the Midwest. It's crazy, like the places, you know, that we've gone, that, you know, that we've seen and we photographed that other people haven't been to.
Yeah.
And those are some like the best memories, you know, because they're things that I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And who knows, I could just be, you know, laying in my bed dreaming of doing stuff like this, watching proper
I know,
people.
exactly. Still watching
And,
the proper
yeah,
people
and-
and exploring with, what is his name, Josh or whatever, you know, just like, oh,
Yeah.
man, this would be so cool to do. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, oh, it'd be so cool to do.
Yeah.
And
But-
then, boom, it happens.
But yeah, I've met a lot of fellow explorers, you know, other photographers. I've linked up with a lot of people, and it's been really humbling. Like, there's lots of really cool people out there. So,
Oh, before I forget, you got to say trick or treat on the camera.
Oh.
You got to say trick or treat.
trick or treat.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I think I'm a little too old for that, but you had to degrade me there for a moment, huh?
How late did you trick or treat?
I think until I developed like a distaste in candy, honestly.
Really?
I'm not really big on candy at all.
No?
No, not at all. I do remember there was one year, probably like over 10 years ago, and my nephew, I always loved my nephew to death. He's like my brother I never had. But he was out trick-or-treating. I was with them, my sister and like my nieces, and he didn't want to go to any of the houses. He was super tired. And you know me, man. I always
Yeah.
wear a hat.
Yeah.
So I was wearing a beanie then, and I just walked up to these like houses, and I definitely looked too old to trick or treat. Never really looked as old as I am, but yeah, I just would walk up there and I'd be like trick or treat, and then I would like pour my beanie out, and I would get the meanest looks. Like, what are you doing? And I just want to be like,
They
I was
still
like
gave you
super
candy,
shy at the
though.
time. I couldn't tell him. I'd be like, it's just for my nephew.
Yeah.
But I like took the candy for myself, so
Oh, shit.
he already had plenty of candy, you know. But they didn't need to know that. I mean,
always
free
get a
candy,
few.
man.
You always get a few.
Yeah, and you know who hasn't held on to candy for like 6 months and you're like, man, I'm hungry, and then you look and you're like, well, I didn't want that
Still
candy
got that
then,
Halloween
but
candy.
yeah, I'm gonna eat that right now.
I think candy has a pretty decent shelf life.
That's probably why it's not too good for you either. Then.
Yeah, anything
Yeah.
that has a really long ass shelf. Well, I mean, canned stuff though, like that's good.
Yeah.
That's still good for you.
You know, what'd be really cool to find is like some MREs or something like that.
Oh, like in an abandoned place.
Yeah,
like find
that'd be
some
so cool.
MREs
Yeah.
and then eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, I went to Cooley, for a second time. I've only ever been there twice, surprisingly, and the
Yeah.
second time I went under the stage,
Oh.
and there was
okay.
like survival barrels with like water and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
was there?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the water's not good at this point, but
yeah,
it was really cool to see that. It had like
That's
the
fucking
biohazard
cool.
symbol on there. Not biohazard, but like the I don't know what you call it, but you know what I'm talking about. It's got like the little symbol on there, the
like
civil,
triangle type.
like the
symbol.
civil defense, like ration type
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, and that was really cool to see stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's why we were so hyped to find that fallout shelter
yeah, I've
that we didn't find.
I've
was
heard
so
that
dark, though.
people have actually have gotten in a lot of trouble being in Cooley, believe it or not.
Lately.
No, just in general.
Oh yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
too.
Like
I heard that.
the DPS does not. They don't mess around.
Right.
They love to catch people exploring, like in the schools.
Yeah.
The first time I went though, I was with a couple friends and we went inside and one of my friends was like super terrified and she's like, you know, oh, there's ghosts in here. I can sense it. Like I can sense these kind of things. So I was like, you know what, just go sit in the car. And so she went and sat in the car, and then not even 10 minutes later after she left, she's like, it's really, really hot in here. Can you like bring the keys or something so I can turn on the car and turn on the AC? And I was like, I told you that if you came, like, you might not like it, but you have to prepare for it. She was wearing like high heels and like a skirt and
Oh
all this.
my
And I'm like,
God.
what? I was like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into at all. So I gave her the keys, let her turn on the AC. And then the rest of my friends and I, we explored this building and we got to the rooftop. And
rooftop was the best.
yeah, out of nowhere, I got a phone call and I was like, oh my God, now what? She was crying. Oh, no, sorry. Actually, we got to the rooftop and I looked down and I seen a police patrol vehicle by my car. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, let's just stay up here. Let's just stay up here and wait. And I just kind of kept exploring up there, trying to forget about it. And she called me and I was like, what? And she was bawling her eyes out. And she was like, yeah, the police said we need to get out of here. We shouldn't be here. And
no.
she was like, yeah, they said that a woman just recently got stabbed here and they like ripped her eyeballs out and all this shit. I was like, what? I was like, really?
Whoa.
I was like, they really said that to you? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, I just really want to go. And I was like, give me a half hour and I'll be out. And then we went down there and we got out of there and everything was fine. But the police, like, she was like, what are you doing here? Because, you know, she was just some girl just sitting in the parking lot at this abandoned school. And the cops were like, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I'm here with my friends. They're like filming like a YouTube video inside there. I was like, oh, man, you said that. Like,
Oh.
because I gave her the keys so she could drive away in case anything happened. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know, if you want to just drive around the block or just drive around a little bit and then come back when we're ready, like, that's fine. And yeah, that all happened. We got back down there and we ended up leaving and everything was fine. But the cops were totally cool about it. They were like, yeah, you should tell your friends they shouldn't be in there. Not, they need to get out now. They're in trouble. Like, nothing like that. You know, just super cool about it. But then I'm going to tell you right now, if the DPS showed up, be like, how many are in there? Be like, all right, you tell them they need to come out right now. The cops are waiting for them. DPS are completely different. Like, they love their busts, man. They love to get people for that.
When we were there, when we were on the roof, we seen some other, just, it wasn't a cop, but it was another random vehicle pulling up and they're backing up and they're just there dumping their trash like everybody else is. So we were still though like, well, we gotta wait because we don't want anybody to see that we're up there on the roof. So we just waited for them to dump all their fucking trash, and then we seen some fucking, I had to have been like a fucking crackhead dude walking through. Fucking had it, dude. It was hot as fuck, and he's wearing one of those puffy jackets with no shirt under it, and he's going like that, like all this weird, like like jerks and movements, and like talking all this shit. So like, I'll wait for him to go by, and
I mean, you feel don't you feel kind of bad for him? Like you think,
well, yeah. I mean,
like
I'm like,
they
fuck, man. Like, why are you wearing that?
They don't
First
have any
of all.
money. They don't have anywhere to live. A lot of them, but they still like take whatever money they get and they put it back in the drugs.
Yeah.
Like that's a harsh cycle right there. But we had our little crackhead run in too when we were pulling up to the school. Actually, we were gonna pull into that parking lot in the front there by the field, and there was just some crackhead or something, and he was just walking in the middle of the road. I almost hit him. I was like, what is this dude doing? I was like, he'll wait, and he like stepped right in front of my vehicle. It was my first time in Detroit, actually, when I went to Cooley. My first time ever going to Detroit. I went to Cooley. That was my welcoming experience. But people say a lot of bad things about Detroit. I think it's a great city, honestly. It's got a lot of artists and stuff like that. It's kind of like Grand Rapids,
Right.
just without, like the poverty and stuff like that. But yeah, it's got a lot of good artists there and everything. And a lot of people will say like, "Oh, Detroit's super dangerous. Don't go in those abandoned buildings. You're gonna get shot or you're gonna get
How many
stabbed." But it
times-
was like,
yeah.
I've never. Okay, first of all, like I won't put that past anybody, like that could
Right.
happen.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
But when you think about it, like I've always explained it this way, what people are just hanging out in moldy, asbestos-filled, abandoned buildings that are pitch black, waiting to stab somebody.
Exactly.
And who's gonna go in there? What random person's gonna go in there? Who's just walking around with a flashlight, watching abandoned buildings, waiting for someone to go in there?
I know.
Usually, what happens is somebody sets up a drug deal and they'll use the abandoned building as cover to make that
Right.
transaction, or a murder will happen, something will happen, and they'll dump a body in there. But generally, you don't hear about people exploring a building and getting caught up in something like that. Usually, it's
No.
completely different.
It
Um,
is.
But in Ohio, recently, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, there was an incident at one of the churches out there in Cleveland, and somebody got stabbed, or I'm sorry, not stabbed. There's two people exploring one of the churches, and some gang member or somebody came in there and shot both of them. One of them
Whoa.
bled out all over inside the sanctuary, and then the other one ran down the road and died on the road. He was bleeding as he was running
Wow.
away. And somebody took photos, and I think it was like the page was like Forgotten Midwest or something, and you could see in the photo they took all the blood everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's crazy because me and my friend recently went out there to explore, and we found that church, and I didn't realize it was that church until afterward, but that church was like completely sealed up at that point, and there was like people hanging out in front of it and stuff like that. So
Damn.
yeah, had no idea. And I know about that one, but the
But it's
places
like-
I have been, like
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened in those as well. I mean, lots
Right.
of things could have happened.
Oh, I'm sure.
Who knows how dangerous, anything you and I have been to, or
Right.
I've been to in the past like
Rapes
7 months.
Could
Right.
have happened, you
Yep.
know.
Murders.
But yeah, but in the vast majority, in the time of day that you're going to, don't go at like 10 o'clock at night.
Never go at night,
No,
ever.
don't go at night.
If
you
I
know?
if I had to like give people tips, I would say a couple tips would be never go alone. Go with at least two people. I honestly, and I don't mean to like sound sexist in any way whatsoever, but always bring a male.
Yeah.
Always have at least one male with you. Don't ever bring a gun. Like that's one of the dumbest things you can do. It's a charge in its own to carry a firearm in a place where you're trespassing. That's its own charge. So don't
Oh.
ever do something like that. Maybe bring a knife or pepper spray, bear spray preferably, like
Yeah.
something strong.
That you can shoot far away.
Yeah, like always, bring something to protect yourself. My friend, like I know a couple people, and they always have pepper spray on them, and
Right.
I feel safer with that.
Yeah.
So because you never know, you could run into a multitude
It's
of
going
people.
to incapacitate somebody
Yeah.
at least for enough time for you to get away.
And yeah, because when you spray pepper spray, you can, it gets in your eyes a little bit too if you're hanging around too long. But if you spray them and run, they know if they keep running at you, they're going to keep getting sprayed at, and who knows, what could happen after that. But
Yeah,
always
fuck that shit.
always be prepared. Like I said, always explore with another person, preferably at least one male. Always bring some sort of protection, whether it's like a knife or pepper spray, and don't go at night. Know your way in, know your way out.
Just plan the shit.
Plan it. Yeah,
Plan
don't just
in advance.
don't just walk down the road, like especially in some place like Detroit, and think that you can just walk in that building and you'll just be able to walk right out, because you never know.
Yeah.
And another reason you don't want to explore at night is because light doesn't seep through the windows and the walls and stuff, so you don't know where exits are.
Right.
My friend and I got tangled up in this one building one time, and we were just walking around the entire building for like 25 minutes. We had no idea where anything was.
Wow.
We couldn't recall based on the walls. All the walls were like basically gutted and torn down to the rebar, and we were just basically lost in there.
Right.
We basically what we did was we went to the end of every hallway and checked every room and finally found our way out. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was in the middle of Detroit. It was in like in a dangerous suburb.
Yeah,
And
you guys are trying to get out.
And the place wasn't even worth it. Like there's
Right.
no place really worth it. So yeah, just be careful. I mean,
be careful, peeps.
I recommend, everybody within reason tries to explore something at some point, whether it's just that blown out building you see down the road.
Yeah, abandoned farm building or something.
On the highway, or like an abandoned farm, preferably not on somebody's property or far, far away.
Well, you'll see them too, yeah, like they're just middle
Yeah.
of nowhere, just this old barn.
Yeah, the majority of people have seen abandoned places in their lifetime. And I've never met anybody who has said, oh, I think it's dumb to go in there. They always say, oh, I think
Or
it's
like
really
you said,
cool.
you can go to, even if you want to do it all legal beagle, you can go to like Gary's and get the pass.
Yeah.
And you can go to see some of these, they're going to be pretty dilapidated, but these, kind of famous places, historical places.
Gary's extremely historical. Like it's, the Steel City, founded on steel. The whole town was built, because of the booming steel industry at the time.
Right.
And just like, Detroit's automobile decline, same thing happened, poverty kind of seeped in, and that place is falling apart, and they're doing what they can to keep, the city afloat by allowing people passes to
check out that old shit.
Check out the buildings. They're historic. I mean, Michael Jackson went to school there. I actually explored the elementary school he went to, and that was really cool.
Damn.
It actually wasn't in too bad a shape either. The library still had a bunch of books in there and everything.
So you got options, people. I mean, you don't have to just, feel like you're doing everything illegal. You can get passes, and you can go do all that stuff too, and feel like you're actually doing it. And
Yeah.
film it for your own, vlog.
There's lots of like websites that are like user friendly for the average person that might just want to check something out that's interesting or abandoned, like Atlas Obscura or Only in Your State are two really, really good websites for just like a regular person to check something out.
Or like that famous prison in Ohio, the
Joliet, or no, sorry,
that's
Illinois.
Some famous penitentiary, but they had incarnation there. Or incarceration, I'm sorry. Incarceration, a music festival. And you got, depending on the ticket that you bought, you could take a tour of the whole prison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you could see the whole, because it was basically held like on or very near the prison grounds. The music festival was. Yeah, and you could go take a tour. Like you could see all the old, how they had like the 5 layers of jail cells, and you could see all of them and stuff. Like Ghost Adventures have been there and stuff.
What do you think about Ghost Adventures?
It's good entertainment.
Entertainment, right?
I don't think everything.
Not good reality though.
I don't think everything is fake either, but I think a lot of stuff is blown up to be bigger than it is.
When you think
it's entertainment.
Yeah, and you think they're making a TV show about it. Lots of people watch it. Something's not happening every single weekend. Like that's just not. It's not realistic.
No. Yeah, and yeah, I believe that they all believe it's true, and I believe all that. I think it's made for entertainment. They can't show you that they were in this building for 12 hours and only these 2 things happened while they were there. That would be a boring ass episode.
Yeah, definitely. And all the times that you and I have explored, there's only been 1 or 2 times where we've experienced anything, and I have not experienced a single thing since then.
Northville was the one where we heard the banging.
And I think I'm not sure. I thought that was like
you're thinking of in the auditorium. I'm talking about when we were walking through 2 sets of doors. It's on our video because I pointed out in the video.
Okay.
There's a bang. You hear this. You hear you step on a pipe, and then it's like, because John heard it because we did it. We had the paranormal investigator on. We listened to it, and then you just hear this bang, and we catch it on my camera. We catch it on your camera, so neither of us did this bang, but it's a loud bang, and it was right next to us. So that was kind of creepy.
And then the 2 at Three Rivers.
The 3 Rivers, that was definitely the one.
I think the one we don't talk about enough there was actually in the basement.
That was creepy.
Where you heard like the hey.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, that's the one that usually gets forgotten, I feel like.
that does get forgotten because you just remind me of that.
Yeah, I think you posted recently. It might have been with the ghost or the paranormal investigator. And I commented on it.
Yeah, you
and
did.
I said Three Rivers.
And
that was me.
osteopathic, you said.
Oh, then that wasn't the right one. No, it was definitely Three Rivers. Yeah, because we didn't get into osteopathic one.
Well, we did. That was the one in Detroit.
I was thinking Riverside.
Oh yeah.
Remember where that guy was shadowboxing?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll never forget.
shadowboxing. Dude,
Yeah.
this was fun, man. I think we should do this again. Maybe we should make this a regular thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, we got so much stuff we could get into. Again.
I got lots of stories.
We got lots of stories.
Yeah.
This was a really good time, dude.
Yeah.
I think we should do this again.
I had a good time. I have to use the bathroom.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
getting late.
I've had
We
for
should
a
probably
long
wrap
time.
shit up.
Yeah, it's past my bedtime.
All right. Where can everybody find you?
Instagram at the.unknown.abstract.
Remember the dots.
Yeah. I think everything shows up in lowercase there anyway, so.
Yeah. Just remember the
yeah.
dots. There you are, Unknown Abstract.
Yep. That's me.
Follow him for cool pictures. Maybe you can buy some soon.
Yeah, enjoy the photos that are on there now because I recently got myself into some legal trouble, so it may be a long time before I post anything again. But yeah, I have a bit of stuff on there. I think I have like almost 200 posts.
Your landscape pictures of beaches and stuff are
Yeah.
just as good.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely try to get more shots and stuff like that in the city.
Dude, it was a fun time.
Yeah,
man.
always.
Thanks for coming.
Always, these 2 times have always been fun.
Always, except the
Yeah.
first time we couldn't stop
Yeah.
laughing.
Hopefully next time you'll have an endorsement by Mountain Dew.
Yeah, dude.
For your
Diet. Or Bud Light.
Yeah.